What's up, guys? Brian here, coming at you with a live video on Saturday. As you can see, I'm working on the new excavator. Thankfully, nothing major, you know. It's just something that I seen that was a little out of place, and I wanted to make sure I could get it perfect. I'll go ahead and show you what we're working on. So if you look down here at this hinge right here, two of the welds are broken, and that's something that was fixed from the factory, it looks like. And so we're gonna take this box off and fix that hinge. I don't know if you can see it this way. The hinge right there, those three tack welds, only one of them's holding. So it's just something that was irritating me, so we're gonna get that fixed ASAP. Now I've got all the bolts loose. I've taken those two out right there. I've taken that one out, and now I just need to take that one out. So that's what I'm working on now. I figured I would do a video for you guys. Anyways, how you guys liking those new videos I've been putting out? I just did a demolition video of the that two-car garage shop. How'd you like that? I got a comment on there, I think it was Chris. I need to take and spend some money on some music, so I'm taking donations. If you want to do the add into the super chat, taking donations so I can buy some music. I don't know what I'm gonna buy yet, but apparently I need to buy some music. So okay, I think that's it. Let's see if that's it. It probably slides out that way because it's underneath that. So let's hop down here. Just finished greasing everything. Last night I did a job with this excavator. It wasn't really a job. I was just really helping my neighbor out. Got paid 500 bucks. So I wouldn't really say it was much of a job. Okay guys, I'm gonna set you down real quick. Right there. See if I can. Sorry about that. I love the new machine. There was just one thing that was irritating the heck out of me, and that was in this box right here. The hinge, as you can see, was only held on by one tack weld. So we're gonna clean that up and re-weld that. That was driving me insane because the whole machine is just pristine. I mean, this is the nicest piece of equipment I've ever owned and operated. I mean, look at that seat. That seat is the first seat that looks mint that I haven't had to replace. So we're gonna take this over and grind that off and weld it up. Oh, also check this out, guys. Check this out. A second. Boom. Check that out. Looks pretty sweet. Vanduyn dump truck in. Put that on the day we brought it home. I'm gonna get another one for right here and for the other side, and then we're gonna get two for the boom with the phone number on it. I might only put the phone number on the boom. Maybe not though. I don't know. I want to see what our options are. But we got one decal on there. It's pretty sweet. So You can see the dust on there. I dug about, what was it, probably 300 foot of trench yesterday. My neighbor's doing an infiltration trench for his shop, and I helped him out. It was just kind of a cash deal. So, you know, you got to help your neighbors out when you can. My pickup right now is having some issues. Go figure, I dunked it in the lake. Now it's having issues. The brake lights aren't working. So, sorry about that. My pickup's having issues because, you know, it took a dip in the lake. So, it's, for some reason, the brake lights aren't working. So, anyways, the welder out here. Garage is a mess, always. Alright. My wife's gonna buy me a welder for my birthday. A big Miller, probably like a Miller-Matic 252 or a 255. If you guys have recommendations on that, definitely post them in the comment section. Let's see. What the? That is so annoying. I need to get a better way of live streaming than using my phone, because this thing is the worst. But I don't really have another way of doing live streaming. How do you guys do live streams? I guess most people just do them on their computers or something. Okay, first things first. This fit right there? No. There, it'll fit right there. Barely. Okay. I got my thing set up right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unbolt this actually. This will be easier. If you see right here, I can unbolt the hinge. So I'm going to unbolt the hinge. It looks like 3/8 or 7/16. See if I can't move you guys somewhere where you can see the box. Okay, you can see it right here. All right, I'm gonna go grab my sockets real quick. Okay, hopefully I got a size here. We'll take these off. Let's see, 3/8. Yeah, it looks like 3/8. That's tighten and loosen it. The nice thing about these machines is, guys, a lot of the bolts are welded in place. That makes it so nice to work on. Man, that makes it nice to work on. The problem with this one is getting this socket on there. It doesn't want to go on because the hinge is in the way. Oh, come on. We're gonna have to get just like a wrench for that one. See if we can't get it loose. This socket's too fat. Okay, back with a 3/8. See this? This is just such a pain. How am I supposed to get anything in here? And now that doesn't want to go in there either. Okay guys, I'm out of options. What do I do? How do I get this stupid thing off? Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab a hammer. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hammer this thing on there. It's kind of hard to get without hammering my fingers. Okay, let's see if that's on far enough. The problem is this is just ridiculous here. Any of you guys have to deal with stuff like this? The problem I'm running into is this right here is too fat to go down far enough. And this is too fat to go on far enough. Okay, let's see. Maybe I can do this. This 3/8 is not even fitting on here. What the heck? See, this is the kind of stuff you guys never get to see in my videos because it's so boring and annoying. Let's see if this 7/16 is way too big. I don't understand. It's got to be a metric, maybe. Let's see what I got for metrics here. It's probably like 9mm. Let's test it on this. Nope. 10mm. Let's see if it's 10mm. Okay. Yeah, I just can't get it in there far enough. Wait, what's this? Oh, I think we got it. We got it. Sweet. Okay. We got it. I'm gonna weld this thing up so I never have to take it apart again. There we go. Okay. Set all those down. Okay guys, sorry about that crappy camera angle. There's just really nowhere to put the camera, you know, where you guys can see me taking it apart. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this hinge off. Let's see. There you go. You can see it now. I'm going to cut this hinge off, grind it all smooth, and then we'll re-weld it. Then we will re-weld it. Okay. Let's set you guys right there. And if I'm right here, you guys can still see me. Okay. Definitely gonna have to cut that off. Can't really bend it, it'll break in the wrong spot. So that's a flap wheel. We want a cutting wheel. Taking this wheel off. It's got this tool right here. Now, I know, how many of you guys watch Justin's channel? Comment in the live stream. How many of you guys watch Justin's channel? Justin Sturgill Trucking. He's always showing, you know, videos about his Milwaukee tools and stuff. I like DeWalt tools, man. I'm going to be honest. DeWalt is my favorite tool brand. I have this Milwaukee, Sawzall. It's the top of the line one they sell at Home Depot. The top of the top. I'll even show it to you real quick. One thing I will say about Milwaukee is they do come in nice cases. I love their cases. But what good's the case if the tool is junk? I've had this Sawzall. This is the second one too. Milwaukee Heavy Duty. This is the Orbital Super Sawzall, right? And my dilemma is, whenever I'm cutting metal, the blade falls out of here. The locking mechanism for this sucks. And this is the second one I've had, and I don't think they're both defective. Now obviously I can't just show you, you know, by pulling it out with my hand, but, you know, they slip out. I don't know if it's because it's vibrating and, you know, or what, and I don't know if all Sawzalls are like that, but anytime the blade gets just a little pinched, just a little, it automatically pulls the blade out. I would rather have it bend the blade, you know, because that is the most annoying thing, because then the blade's super hot. You can't pick it up and put it back in and keep going, you know. You have to, you know, have gloves on or something just to... Anyways, I don't know how the DeWalt one works because I never bought the DeWalt one. I still got the... I spent like $300 on that Sawzall, and it's been nothing but irritation to me. Anyways, I had a rigid angle grinder, and it was the most uncomfortable thing to hold ever. It didn't fit in my hand. Maybe I have small hands. I don't know. I've used the rigid angle grinder. I did not like the design of the hand because maybe my hands are small. I don't know. They seem normal size to me. But see how thick this is? It doesn't matter how thick this is, but the design allows me to push the safety in and pull the trigger. It doesn't matter how wide it is. The DeWalt one, I have to reach all the way over here with my thumb, push the trigger in, right? And then hold the trigger. It's the most annoying thing ever. I'll show you it's just like the design of this, except for this is so thin right here, I can actually push that in and pull the trigger. But on the rigid angle grinder, I could not do that. And when that thing finally died on me, I was the happiest man alive. because I was like, okay, I'm buying another DeWalt angle grinder, you know, and this is probably my most used tool out of all my tools. This is the tool I use the most, probably, you know, and I had one of these and it lasted me like 6 years, and I use this thing almost every day I'm working on something. This is one of the tools I use almost guaranteed, you know, whether it's to clean off some paint, clean off some rust, you know, so I can weld on something. This is the tool. I love this tool. I love the design of this. They were so smart when they designed this little flip switch, you know, because it won't go down unless you flip that in. Whoever designed that, they were thinking about the consumer. You know, they were thinking about us. I love this DeWalt angle grinder. And I also bought this DeWalt impact driver. I love this thing. It's got a clip right here for your pants. It's got 3 different speeds. It's got forward, reverse. It's got 3 nice bright LED lights on it. And you know, this, you just pull this out to release the bits. This thing has got some serious torque. And then I also bought the DeWalt, this is not a commercial, guys. I'm just telling you how much I love DeWalt. I bought the DeWalt, I should have done a video about this thing. The DeWalt greaser. This thing has saved me hours, literally hours of, you know, everything. I love this thing. It's so easy to prime. It is so efficient. To prime it, you got this little screw right here. You can unscrew this. I'll just show you real quick. And grease will start coming out of this little hole right here. When you're trying to prime it. Obviously, it's already primed. And then you can also prime it by pulling, when you put the new greaser in, you push this, you know, and it pushes the air bubbles out right here. But this thing is amazing. It's got a light on it. You know, it does 10,000 PSI. The Milwaukee one that I seen at the store, I think it went up to like 9,000 PSI. I don't know if those figures are accurate, guys, but I'll tell you what, this thing works. I love it. The one downside I will mention, and I was sorely disappointed with DeWalt on this. When you buy that $250 tool, it doesn't come with a battery. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you're spending $250 and it doesn't even come with a battery and a charger? Like, come on, DeWalt. Come on. That was kind of crappy. But I bought this at the same time and it uses the same battery, so, you know, nice business model, you know. If you're trying to sell more things, you got it down. But, I mean, I thought that was kind of stupid. It didn't come with even a battery and a charger, you know. But, not that I would have used it anyways, because I bought this one at the same time. But it would have been nice to have 3 batteries, you know. And I could have just, you know, put a charger, you know, somewhere. So if I ever lost one. Because everybody knows those your chargers, whenever you have a dead battery and you go look for your charger, it's nowhere to be found. I mean, I know I'm not the only one who experiences that. So, you know. Okay, I'm going to tilt you guys down just a hair. Let's cut this hinge off. Okay, let's cut that hinge off and then we'll grind it. I really do need a shop, guys. This garage is just, I'm not having this garage anymore. This one car garage is just not even close. I'm trying to get the gas away from where I'm going to be spraying sparks. What's up? Okay. I'll be right back, guys. I think my cord's disconnected. Okay. Should have power now. The problem with this, guys, is you almost need more of a Dremel tool to get this thing out. The Dremel tool I have, it doesn't work very good. It takes forever to set up, so I hardly ever use it. So I'm going to show you the quick way of busting this thing loose. Get yourself one of these big chisels that you can just beat on to death, and a hammer. That's what I always use. Just jam this back there. That way we're not bending the hinge, we're just bending right where it's welded. There you have it, folks. Okay. So, now we got this off. It's a little bent. It's hard to tell. I'll just shove that in the vise and straighten that out. That won't be an issue at all. Actually, nope, we're going to have to grind this off first. Okay, let's do this. That's not going to work. There we go. Okay, we got it all bent straight. Now I'm going to switch back to that paddle disc that I showed you earlier on the angle grinder. We're going to clean those welds off. Those tack welds. They didn't even tack it very good because 2 out of the 3 broke. And that's such thin metal that it shouldn't have broke. It should have just cracked the hinge instead. So they didn't really take their time when they tack welded that. I'll show you that for sure. Okay. Now it's pretty warm, so you don't want to touch it unless you got gloves on. I'll throw a glove on here and I'll show you what we did. We grinded those welds off. I still got one more where the vise was holding it right here, where it's kind of nasty looking. And then we'll grind the rest of this off. We'll make that shiny right there. And then, you know, we'll smooth this side out too. You can see it's a little bumpy. And then we'll clean the lid up, and then we'll weld it on. See, now I can stick this in the vise like this, crank her down, have it nice and flat. Yeah, that's good. That's definitely better. Okay. Okay. Now we got this big old booger on this lid that we got to take care of. Let's see if you can see it. See that big old booger right there? So that we're going to cut off with the cutting wheel. But before we do that, we're just going to smooth this out real quick. Let's see, when that lid goes on, is the hinge on? It's supposed to be on that. Okay. Let's put that cutting wheel back on there and cut that booger off, and we'll flip the flap wheel back on there and smooth it out again. So the way I'm going to cut this, put this in here. If I remember correctly, that was kind of like that. Or, no, it's like this. Like this. Okay. Box goes like that. How was this welded? Great. I think it might have been welded like that. Okay, time to go over the box and figure this out. You guys stay right there. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, looks like it needs to be welded just like that, but this has to be able to turn, so fold that hinge over to the other side before you weld it. That way the hinge will actually open, because if you have this down too far, then the hinge might bind, right? Now I just want to make one last measurement. I want to make sure that the hinge is in the center, not over to the side, because the other one's bolted, right? So if I get the bolt holes in the wrong spot, the lid might not line up right. Okay, got it. So it needs to be right there. It's not 100% in the center. Looks like it's off to this side just a hair more. So now what we're going to do is the best way to weld this thing. Pinch this like this and tack weld it. Okay, I'm going to tack weld it right there, and then I'll show you guys, and then we'll orient this so it's easier to weld, right? So when you're welding something, it's easier to weld flat and horizontal than vertical and overhead, right? So just set yourself up, you know, so you're not welding that way. That's what I always do. Unless I'm trying to practice or something, which isn't very often. So one thing I will say about welding, if you get one of these smaller welders, you know, like a 140 or whatever, when you're welding something, when you're hooked up to an extension cord, you can't be pumping out the full amount of amps. it won't do it. Well, I mean, it'll do it, but it won't do it effectively. Like, it just draws so much power through the electric cord, you know, that it's not consistent. Right? Another thing you want to do is make sure your tips for your welding guns are clean on the inside. That way the gas can come out smoothly. If it's all built up with slag, you're not going to get the gas you need. Only takes 2 seconds to clean one too. So just do it. It makes your life a lot easier. Okay, we don't have to make a good ground because this is a nice shiny metal right here where this clip goes. So we'll just clip our ground onto that. Otherwise we'd have to grind something down. You know, we could clip over here where it's clean, but then the ground would be in our way. So we don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a tack weld on one side. And then we'll tack the other side and then we'll weld it. We're not going to go the full distance because this is so thin it'll warp the metal. Wide enough? Oh man, not wide enough. Okay, well. Now I got it set up so I can weld flat, you know, because metal is just like water. When it melts, it goes to the lowest point. So just set yourself up for success, you know. That's the main thing. See if that does it. Okay, so as you can hear the machine welding, you can hear it kind of going down. It's because I'm welding on the highest setting with this long extension cord. So it's putting out variable outputs, right? Also, when I welded the center, I only welded about 1 centimeter long, right? Because if you weld more than that, you could warp the metal. You don't want to warp it. I don't like my hinges breaking, So. Okay. That is definitely not going to break. Unless somebody, you know, I guess it could break. You put enough stress on it, but I won't be the one breaking it. Now, what we're going to need to do is, since we welded that, we kind of burnt the paint on the outside. So now we have to decide, you know, how we want to paint it. So there's a few options. I don't have any Kubota gray with me right now. So what I could do is I could tape a paint line and paint it orange, you know, because that would go because the machine's orange and gray. Or we could paint it black, or, you know, we got several different options. But while that's cooling down, let's switch over to the flap wheel. That way we can clean that surface up that the paint's going to go on. Because you don't want to paint over burnt paint. It'll just flake off. My wife and I, we've been married for about 6 years now, 7 years now. And our first date was going to a Mariners game. And today, we're going to another Mariners game. You know, second one in 6 years. So, you know, that's pretty exciting. I'm kind of looking forward to it. You know, going on a date night with my wife. That's why I helped the neighbor out. Got some quick cash. You know, a few $100. So, should be able to have a nice date. You know, made some quick cash. That's one of the things. And I'm not going to tell you to do this. I'm not going to tell anybody to do anything. But when I bought that trailer, it was an old guy. I mean, he was 60, 70 years old. I think he was 70 years old. And he was just retiring. And I asked him what the advice was that he could give me. And I said, if you got any advice to help me out, I'm a new business owner, what's the advice you would give to me? And he said, I'll never forget this, he said, steal as much money possible from the government as you can. Do as much work under the table as you can, because the government will take every penny you earn. And, you know, I don't do a whole lot of work under the table, but every once in a while, you know, if I'm helping a neighbor out or something, I won't do it through the business. I'll just do it under the table, you know. And it helps them out, helps me out, you know. And then next thing you know, I got more referrals, you know, to do more work. You know. But do as much work as you can, you know, under the table. He said, steal as much money from the government as you can. Because they'll always have too much, you know. Because they're getting it from us. So I think what I want to do, I'm going to do from about here back orange. I think that would look cool. So that's what I'm going to do. So my process is I'm going to sand this down. Okay, guys, got that all cleaned up. Now, still kind of warm. Not too warm, but it's still a little warm. Now I'm going to take my microfiber and get all the dust off of it. You know. And you could use soap and water, but man, that takes so long. When you're doing that kind of stuff. You know, just use a clean microfiber. And okay, now I'm going to take a piece of tape and I'm going to put a piece of tape on here. So I'm working on a lid for the new excavator. The hinge was broke. Right? So I'm working on a hinge. Okay, guys, got my tape, got the paint. Always shake your paint really good. And then I like to do like a test spray on something other than the project. Because what happens is sometimes when you first spray it, you know, you get clumps coming out. And then you gotta wipe it off and start all over, and it's such a pain. Okay. Let's take some paint, some tape here. Now with this tape, you want to run your finger around the edge. Sometimes, you know, it doesn't make a good solid. Just run it on there, you know. And then run a second piece, you know, that way you got plenty of room for no overspray. This is one of my favorite colors right here. This is Alice Chalmers Orange Gloss. This is the paint that I use on the dump truck. This is the paint I use on all the equipment. It's Alice Chalmers Orange Gloss. So if you guys are ever wondering what color I use, this is the color. I love this color. It's a perfect color. Now the technique I use is pretty simple. You know, I'm going to spray away from this side because I'm trying to paint this side, so I'm going to spray towards that side, right? So I get less overspray. Right? I got so much crap in here. Okay, now, since I sprayed it, you don't want to spray too much or it starts running everywhere, right? You gotta wait till it tacks up a little bit. Right, so just wait a few seconds. You know, it's a nice warm day out today, thankfully, so, you know, it tacks up pretty quick. Just wait for it to tack up nice. You know, and the metal's kind of warm. It's cooled down quite a bit. And while it's tacking up, just make sure you're shaking the can, you know. What are you guys up to on this fine weekend? Let me catch up on the comments. Yeah, every time I put my phone down, it does go wacky. Well, yeah, you're right, Home Auto. I could weld a nut on that other end. I don't plan on taking this thing off anymore, though. Okay, time to do another coat. That's normally about how long I wait, you know. You know, and the first coat you do, you can still see everything underneath. Like, the parts that I didn't sand 100%, you can still see that. You know, you can still see the white, and you should be able to barely see it on the second one, too. You know, the second coat. It takes, you know, about 3 to 4 coats with the spray paint. I always like to do, you know, I like to give it three layers, you know, 3 to 4 layers. You know, it doesn't take very long just to do 3 or 4, and I feel like it lasts longer. You know, it doesn't scratch off as fast. It's starting to look good. I should have wiped it down with something. It's got like 3 or 4 spots right here that the paint just doesn't want to stick to. It's kind of going like this. That's alright. It's a piece of equipment though, so I mean it's not like... There. I think that about covered it. Yeah. starting to look good now. I'll pick you guys up and show you. Yeah, looking good. See, and that's why I put a second piece of tape, because you can see where the first piece of tape ends, the overspray still comes to about here. Yeah, it's just I'm using spray paint, man. If it was like a hot rod or something, then I may take the time to do that, But it's just a quick touch-up job. Nobody's going to be inspecting it for a beauty contest. And TF logging, dude, that log loader looks sweet, man. And I seen that, the skidder you got. Dude, I would like to have one of those eventually in the future. That'd be cool to have. That would be cool to have. I'd like to get an arch for my dozer. That'd be super cool. With a winch on it. Oh, man. The one thing I don't like about DeWalt tools, why'd they choose yellow? I mean, come on. Orange is so much more of a superior color. Could have used orange. That would have been cooler. Maybe I'll paint my DeWalt tools orange one of these days. Okay, that's good enough. That's good enough for me. That's enough paint on there. That looks pretty thick. So now, here's the question. Do you pull the paint off, or do you pull the tape off when the paint is wet, or do you pull it off when it's dry? Me personally, I like to pull it off when it's still wet. Because if it's dry, it could pull some of it off that's further, further down the line. Let's pull it off on this side. And as you can see, I'm kind of pulling the tape away from the paint. And we still did get a little bit of overspray, believe it or not. We still got some. Holy cow. So here, let me show you real quick. You can just barely see the overspray. So you can see it right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a rag and some gas, and that'll wipe right off. I don't have mineral spritz or thinner or whatever. That stuff's so flippin' expensive. I mean, I don't afford that stuff. So what I use is some good old-fashioned gasoline. Just put some gas on this rag, so you can see a little bit. See? Just a teeny bit of gas. Here, let me show you how good this works too. So you can see the gas on it. Boom. Did you see that? Just wiped it right off. There. Just like that, guys. Just like that. Gas is so much cheaper than those mineral spritz or whatever they sell at the store. That stuff is so expensive. Oh man, it's like $20 for just a small container. You can buy a gallon of gas for $3, $4, And then I also like to wipe the gas residue off. You know, just rub it off with like a rag or something. You know what I could have done, which would have been really cool, is if I would have put like VANDUYN in black on here or something, made like a stencil. That would have been sweet. I didn't think about that. Well, that's going to have to sit for another hour or two before I put it back on. Could paint the bottom too, if I wanted to. What do you think? Nah, I'll leave the inside. The inside's, nobody ever sees that. Nobody ever sees the inside. I'll just leave it. Okay, well, while I got you guys on, and the phone isn't doing its glitchy crap, I'll take you over here and I'll show you a little bit of the new excavator. What do you guys think? You want to see the new excavator? Another thing I want to do is that dozer, whenever you go over like a big bump, you know, it literally almost throws you out of the seat. So I got a seat belt for it. I'm going to weld, you know, some bolts and nuts onto it, and I'm going to put a seat belt on it because it really needs one. So let's see. So I have a plasma cutter already. I haven't really thought about a multi-process one, you know, that does the plasma cutting and the welding and stuff. Those are so expensive. Oh, look at that, dude. That's like the perfect spot to put you guys up. Okay, I'm gonna go start that excavator up, and I'll show you a little bit, you know, how it moves and how it digs and stuff, and I'll be back to you guys in a few seconds. Of course, it's not going to start as soon as you guys come out here. Okay. The guy told me the battery cable might be a little loose, so let's see what I can do over here. Of course, it's not going to start up when I go to show you. Oh, how does this even happen to me? Well, let's pop the hood on this thing. I think the guy said the battery connections were a little corroded. Battery on this thing probably sucks. So the other day when I went to start this thing up, okay, I'm gonna have to set you guys down for this. I couldn't figure out how to open this. There we go. It's kind of tricky on how to open that thing. Okay, I'll switch you guys around. Let's see here. What in the world is that? I think this thing just may need a new battery. That's on there tight. That one's loose. What is this crap they put on there? What is that? Let's give it a shot now. I moved the terminal. Let's see if that does. Oh yeah, that battery looks like it's junk. It gets leaked out or something. Okay. Let's see if this does it. Now the screen isn't doing what it normally does. That battery's toast. Gosh dang it. It's gotta be this battery. I just used it like 6 hours yesterday. No problems. And they had to wipe all this gunk on here. Yeah, this battery terminal's loose. I can wiggle it. So watch this. It's gotta be this battery terminal's loose. Watch this. So I mean, it's gotta be this is just loose. Oh, what did they... Look at that. I just pulled it right off. Okay, I go get a rag to wipe this crap off. Ooh, and what were they thinking of that junk on there? Let's go get a rag. Way too loose. I shouldn't have been able to pull that up with my hand. That's ridiculous. That's got to be the problem. Just got to be too loose. Because I heard it click the first time. So it's got to be that. Got to be too loose. Grab a tiny crescent wrench. Anyways, that's drying, so not like we're in a hurry or nothing. Can't believe this is happening on live video. I go to start it up to show it off and it fails on me. That's what I get for trying to show off, huh? Okay. Let's see, where can I set you guys? I'll set you guys right there. So what I'm doing right now is I'm gonna clean all this gunk off. This must be some sort of anti-corrosion or something. But I mean, geez Louise, did they have to, like, it looks just like grease, you know? Like, hey, let's just smither a butt ton of grease on here. Like, why didn't they just put a little bit on and smear it around, you know? Instead, they just put like 10 tablespoons on there. Let's see. This thing doesn't even look like it can be tightened very good with this. I'm gonna go get a oh geez, that's so loose. Okay, that's got to be the problem. This thing is just so loose. I gotta figure out what size this is. It's that size right there. I'll be right back. I gotta grab some sockets and we'll see if we can't figure it out. Okay, I got some sockets. Let's see if I can't figure out which one fits these. Looks like a pretty small one. Way too big. course, too small. Try the one in the middle. These things are a pain when they're brand new. And then they're a pain when they're old too, because then everything just falls off of them. Are you kidding me? This has got to be some sort of metric size. Let's see if I can. Maybe I can fit this on the back side. Just enough to get this on there. Okay. Nope, I'm not being able to get a good grip on that backside. Let's see if it's 10 millimeter. Doesn't look like it. Okay, I'm tightening it. It's tightening. Oh, still needs a little more. A little more. Okay, that might be tight enough. Let's pull these tools out and see if that starts it up. Let me get you guys out of here too. I'm gonna set you guys back down over here. Hopefully we can get a little show on the road. Okay, everything lights up. Ta-da! With machinery, you're always working out the little kinks. I seen you. There. Sorry about that, guys. my wife just went on a run. It's only a 3-mile run, but she got a medal and you know, a shirt. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. This is the machine. Runs great. Now that I fixed the battery cable, I shouldn't have any problems with it not starting. Hitachi ZX50. It's got a wedge coupler, quick coupler. So you unbolt that bolt right there, and that wedge pops out, and then you can attach the other one. Anyways, don't forget to pound that like button, pound that subscribe button, share this on your social media site of preference, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.